Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। भूतैर्महद्भिर्या इमः पुरो विभो निर्मायश्येते यदमूष पुरुष भूते गुणान् षोडश षोडशात्मकः सोऽलङ्कृशिष्ट भगवान् वचांसि मे। श्रीकृष्ण शरणं शरणागतं कथामृतं सततपिबतं भक्तिवेदान्तमार्गपन्थनं सर्वलोकऋषिदेव जन्मप्रसन्नं सर्वलोकऋषिदेव जन्मप्रसन्नम्। श्रीकृष्ण शरणं शरणागतं कथामृतं सततपिबतं भक्तिवेदान्तमार्गपन्थनं सर्वलोकऋषिदेव जन्मप्रसन्नम्। Hare Krishna, dear Prabhus and Matajis, welcome to our morning Srimad Bhagavatam study session. So we are continuing with Puruṣa-sūkta from films, chapter 6 of Canto 2. So I'll just read the translation of verses so far so that we have a nice flow of understanding. So starting from text 1, Lord Brahma said, the mouth of the Virata Purusha, the universal form of the Lord, is the generating center of the voice, and the controlling deity is fire. His skin and 6 other layers are the generating centers of the Vedic hymns, and his tongue is the productive center of different foodstuffs and delicacies for offering in demigods, the forefathers, and general mass of people. His 2 nostrils are the generating centers of our breathing and of all other airs. His smelling prowess generated the Ashwini Kumara, demigods, and all kinds of medicinal herbs. And his breathing energies produce different kinds of fragrance. His eyes are the generating centers of all kinds of forms, and they glitter and illuminate. His eyeballs are like the sun and the heavenly planets. His ears hear from all sides and are receptacles for all the Vedas. and his sense of hearing is generating center of the sky and of all kinds of sound. His bodily surface is the breeding ground for the active principles of everything and for all kinds of auspicious opportunities. His skin, like the moving air, is generating center for all kinds of sense of touch and is the place for performing all kinds of sacrifice. The hairs on his body are the cause of all vegetation, particularly of those trees which are required as ingredients for sacrifice. The hairs on his head and face are reservoirs for the clouds, and his nails are the breeding ground for electricity, stones, and iron ores. So in these verses, we see that it's very practical because these are the things we interact perpetually, daily in our lives. And so when we are cognizant of this fact that yes, all this is possible due to the Lord, then it becomes very easy to remember Lord when we survey everything that is around us. And my sincere apologies yesterday. For some reason, my speaker was playing up, so I could not hear devotees who were making comments. I thought I'll start off this session by asking devotees if they'd like to, share their realizations of these verses that missed out yesterday. I think Vaidarvi Mataji was speaking yesterday. Vaidarvi Mataji, would you like to share your realizations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you.
Prabhu, I was just appreciating, your class yesterday. That how wonderfully you explained that everything is coming from Krishna, and quoting that, quoting Vaisheshika Prabhu, that how can we serve our spiritual master in Kali Yuga? Like in olden days, we used to serve by bringing them wood, but how in Kali Yuga we can serve by preaching about Srila Prabhupada's message. And I was just reflecting on the point that I was with children the other day, and I was thinking that they were having some snacks, some cheese and crackers, and I was thinking that when anybody is when we are eating fresh fruits or fresh vegetables, it's easy to connect with Krishna because you can directly see that this is coming from Krishna. And then I was thinking that, oh, this is cheese and crackers. How can you connect this to Krishna? And then this realization came, well, actually cheese comes from the cows, and Krishna gives us cows. And for the crackers part, the wheat is coming from Krishna. So the factories that are processing it, the energy, the electricity, ingredients, everything is actually coming from Krishna. So, it's like you can see Krishna everywhere. Yeah, that's about it, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Such a nice realizations. And these are the practical aspects of Srimad Bhagavatam that, yes, daily, every second, every moment, we can be connected with Krishna when we become cognizant of this fact that everything around is different expansions and different energies of Krishna. And, and especially in relation to vegetation, fruits that we eat every day, the electricity that generates so much power, light, charges our devices, and everything, the medicines, the aushadhis, these all are daily parts of our lives, and it is so easy to relate to Krishna. Any other devotees, had questions or realizations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Paul, Prabhu.
Is it okay as a devotee not to have a genuine interest in the Virat Roop, as far as, seeing Krishna in nature, in a beautiful sunrise or sunset? Because for myself, I don't really have any genuine sort of interest. There's probably better ways to describe it, but my interest lies more in the two-armed form of Krishna, the boy that grew up, the cowherd boy in Vrindavan, and lived for 125 years, and all of his pastimes. Is it okay that we don't have sort of that genuine passion for Virat Roop? Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, as it is said, different strokes for different folks. So Krishna can be approached in any way. This Virata Rupa is an expression for those living entities who actually don't know anything better than what they sorry, I think someone's mic is on. If we can switch off our mics.
Probably you muted your mic.
My apologies. So this description of Virata Rupa is especially meant for those living entities who don't actually know the Supreme Lord, or even those who know the Supreme Lord, but in their daily activities, they can remember Supreme Lord by coming in contact with different elements of his creation. So, Paul Prabhu, you're a bit like Arjuna, that when he sees the Virata Rupa of the Lord, he then, requests the Lord that please return back to your two-arm form, where, and from him, actually, everything originates. So it is okay. The important thing is that not to forget the Lord. So if through interactions with these elements we remember the Lord, then that is very good. But if we remember the Lord in his two-arm forms 24 hours a day, then that is, very good. I hope that is okay.
Thank you. Yeah, that's excellent, Prabhuji.
Okay, so we will continue with today's verse 6. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Bhavo lokpalanam prayasha shemakarmanam. Bhavo lokpalanam prayasha shemakarmanam. Bhavaha, arms, lokpalanam, of governing deities of the planets, the demigods, prayasha, almost always, shema karmanam, of those who are leaders and protectors of the general mass. Translation by His Loving Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord's arms are the productive fields for the great demigods and other leaders of the living entities who protect the general mass. The Lord's arms are the productive fields for the great demigods and other leaders of the living entities who protect the general mass. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, please hear. This important verse of Srīmad Bhāgavatam is corroborated and nicely explained in Bhagavad Gita 10:41-42 as follows. Yad yad vibhuti matsattvam Srīmad urjitamev tva tad tad eva vagachatvam mama tejom shasambhavam athva bahunayitena kim gnatena tavarjuna Vishtabhyaham idam krishnam ekam shena sthito jagad. There are many powerful kings, leaders, learned scholars, scientists, artists, engineers, investors, excavators, archaeologists, industrialists, politicians, economists, business magnates, and many more powerful deities or demigods like Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Surya, Varuna, and Maruta, who are all protecting the interests of the universal affairs of maintenance in different positions. And all of them are different powerful parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord Shri Krishna is the father of all living entities who are placed in different high and low positions according to their desires or aspirations. Some of them, as particularly mentioned above, are specifically endowed with powers by the will of the Lord. A sane person must know for certain that a living being, however powerful he may be, is neither absolute nor independent. All living beings must accept the origin of their specific power as mentioned in this verse. And if they act accordingly, then simply by discharging their respective occupational duties, they can achieve the highest perfection of life, namely eternal life, complete knowledge, and inexhaustible blessings. As long as the powerful men of the world do not accept the origin of their respective powers, namely the personality of Godhead, the actions of Maya illusion will continue to act. The actions of Maya are such that a powerful person misled by the illusory material energy wrongly accepts himself as all in all and does not develop God consciousness. As such, the false sense of egoism, namely myself and mine. In Sanskrit it is said, mama mameti, myself and mine, has become overly prominent in the world, and there is hard struggle for existence in human society. The intelligent class of men, therefore, must admit the Lord as the ultimate source of all energies, and thus pay tribute to the Lord for his good blessings. Simply by accepting the Lord as the supreme proprietor of everything, since he actually is so, one can achieve the highest perfection of life. Whatever a person may be in the estimation of the social order of things, if a person tries to reciprocate a feeling of love towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is satisfied with the blessings of the Lord, he will at once feel the highest peace of mind for which he is hankering life after life. Again, this is a very nice sentence. Whatever a person may be in the estimation of social order of things. Social order of things, basically meaning whether we are a labor class, whether we are a commerce class, business class, or whether we are administrative class, or whether we are intelligent class. If a person tries to reciprocate a feeling of love towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is satisfied with the blessings of the Lord, he will at once feel the highest peace of mind for which he is hankering life after life. So in Srīmad Bhāgavatam it is said, Ataha pumbirtuja sreshta varnashrama vibhagasha. These divisions of the stages of life and orders of life, as we mentioned, the labor class, the business class, the administrative class, and the intelligent class, whatever one may be situated, swanushtitasya dharmasya, simply by following their respective duties as an offering to Supreme Lord, Some siddhir haritoshanam, they can satisfy the Lord, and when the Lord is satisfied, then they themselves become satisfied and peaceful. Prabhupada continues in the purport, peace of mind, or in other words, the healthy state of mind, this is called swastha, can be achieved only when mind is situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Because mind is the center of all concoctions. Or in Hindi, it is said, Hyali Plau. But when the mind is meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, then that is the natural position for the mind to be in. Savai Manaha Krishna Padara Vindyo. Krishna Padara Vindyo means the lotus feet of Krishna. And Savai Manaha, the mind is supposed to be fixed, anchored at the lotus feet of Krishna. Prabhupada continues, the parts and parcels of the Lord are endowed with specific powers for rendering service unto the Lord. Just as big business magnates' sons are empowered with specific powers of administration, the obedient son of the Father never goes against the will of the Father, and therefore passes life very peacefully in concurrence with the head of the family, the Father. Similarly, the Lord being the Father, all living beings should fully and satisfactorily discharge the duty and will of the Father as faithful sons. This very mentality will at once bring peace and prosperity to human society. This is such a wonderful paper by Srila Prabhupada. So many points can be mentioned over here. And the obedience is basically highlighted in the last sentences of the punchline of Srila Prabhupada's purport. It is so important to be obedient to the order of the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as he is given in scriptures. And as soon as the example cited here, the son to inherit the property of Father, Prabhupada mentions, only thing the son needs to do is be alive. So similarly, if we want to have a claim over the properties of Krishna, the energies of Krishna, and ultimately go back home to Krishna, then only thing that we have to do is be alive in devotional service of Krishna. And simply by undertaking this process of sadhana bhakti, as Srila Prabhupada has introduced, and this is introduced by our various acharyas based on the association of devotees, chanting of the holy names of the Lord, reading and hearing Srīmad Bhāgavatam daily, doing the deity worship, Archa Vigraha Seva, and in this way, if these four activities are there, then we are always residing in Vrindavan, we are always residing in the Dhama. So in this way, we see that how Krishna is empowering the demigods to carry on the orders of the administrative affairs of the universe. And these demigods, as long as they remain obedient to the order of Krishna, they are able to be, they're able to do their functions properly, and they're able to protect the living entities. But of course, the ultimate protector is Krishna. Krishna rakshat no jagattraya gurum, Krishnam namatvam sada. Kulshekara says that Krishna, you are the protector of all the universes and all the living entities. And therefore, Krishnam namadvam sada, we continuously bow down to you. And Srila Prabhupada in this wonderful paper quotes that famous verse from the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that by the single speck of his particle, Krishna maintains the entire universe. And there's a similar verse in Mukundamala Stotra that Kulshekara Arval says, And there, at the moment we looking at the description of the universal form and the various creations. So Kulshekar Alvar mentions Prithvi Renu Anu Prayamsi Kanika Phalgus Pilingo Laghus. So he says the whole of earth becomes no greater than a speck of dust, Prithvi Renu. And Prayamsi Kanika, the waves of the ocean. So we can imagine ocean is so gigantic, but they become anuhu, like droplets. Phalgus Pulingo Laghus. And the totality of fire becomes a minute spark. Tejahani swasanam marutanudaram. And the winds become like just a faint sigh. So sukshmam navaha, and the expanse of space becomes a tiny hole. So when we look at this creation that has been described in the previous 5 or 6 verses of how the Virata Rupa is hearing, how the Virata Rupa is breathing, how the Virata Rupa is touching, and due to all his sensations, all the field of activities becomes manifest, and we are able to do the same thing, feel, touch, hear, and so and so. But all these things, for the living entity, under the protection of the Lord, as it's given in this verse, we are able to peacefully carry on our activities. Now, for example, if you look at the Earth planet, it is said that the Earth planet spins at 1,670 kilometers at the equator. And it orbits the sun at approximately 107,000 kilometers per hour. So not 107 kilometers, 107,000 kilometers per hour. And the entire solar system, including Earth, moves through the Milky Way, they say, at about 790,000 kilometers per hour. That's 790,000 kilometers per hour. Now, I'm not saying that these stats are true. What I'm trying to say is that look at the enormity of the numbers that we are speaking about. If we go more than 100 kilometers per hour in a car, then we feel it. If we go 140 kilometers per hour, but here the earth on which we are living is spinning around the orbit of the sun 107,000 kilometers per hour. But look at the arrangement of Krishna. Despite these extreme speeds, we experience no sensation of movement on earth. And look at the temperatures, the extreme internal temperatures. It is said that at the core of the earth, the temperature exceeds 5,000 degrees Celsius. And this is compared to the temperature on the surface of the earth. But still, it is said the planet's crust is extremely thin. It's like a skin of an apple relative to the earth's size. And yet we don't feel that heat. So how much Krishna is protecting us. So in comparison to, it is said, a billiard ball, the earth is smoother than a billiard ball, a pool ball, despite its mountains and oceans. According to the overall proportion of the earth is actually smoother than a billiard ball. So when we look at all these things, that despite Earth's rapid speed, intense, heat, and despite its geological and biological changes, Earth remains stable enough to support life. And all this is due entirely due to Krishna's protection. Therefore, specifically, Shukdev Goswami mentions he is Dharapati. Dhara means this earth, and he is the protector and the lord of this earth planet. So all these gigantic things, Prithvi, appears like a insignificant atom. The gigantic fire appears like a spark. The winds, when we are traveling at a great distance, a great speed, it appears like a sigh. So therefore it is said, Shudra Rudra Pitamaha Prabhitaya, that great demigods like Rudra and Pitamaha, Lord Brahma, they appear Shudra. Shudra means insignificant. And Kita Samasta Sura, and all the other demigods, as mentioned in this paper here, Chandras, Varuna, Maruta, and so, Kita, they appear like insects. Drashte yatra satarako vijayate Shripad Dhuli Kanaha. Shripad Dhuli Kanaha means only one speck of dust of the lotus feet of Krishna, Vijayate, conquers everything. The gigantic wind, gigantic fire, gigantic air, the might of demigods like Brahma, Shiva, just the one speck of dust of the lotus feet of Krishna. What to speak of Krishna? Not even Krishna, just the speck of dust of lotus feet of Krishna conquers everything. So that is our Supreme Lord Krishna, under whose protection we all are surviving and working. And Krishna's greatest protection is that he protects our memory. And this description of the Virata Rupa make us understand and make us relate every day in our life when we come in contact with water, electricity, sun, fire, vegetation, and so, that yes, these are all NGOs of Krishna. And by remembering that these are only due to Krishna, and only one speck of dust of the lotus feet of Krishna maintains everything throughout the universe, then our remembrance of Krishna becomes the core of our life. And through the remembrance, our devotion is protected. This is the greatest rule of devotional service. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And therefore, these descriptions are there that we can remember Krishna through the nature that is before our eyes. Any questions or comments, Prabhu's, Mataji's?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhu, I was thinking like Krishna is so gigantic and, and he's everywhere. And I was thinking of the mood of Mirabai. You could see Krishna everywhere. And there's a very nice bhajan. If, can I share a couple of lines? If that's okay?
Yes, please, Mataji.
So she goes, Mai meri sham lagyo sang dole jit jaऊं tit आड़ो ही आवे जित जाऊं तित आड़ो ही आवे बातें करे बिन बोले मेरी माई शाम लाग्यो संग डोले. So the bhajan says like wherever I go, Krishna is everywhere. I can see Krishna everywhere. And it said that whenever she saw tamal tree or anything, like she would start hugging that, thinking it's Krishna. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Yes. Yamaraj describes Krishna is Otam, Protam, the horizontal and the vertical threads of this universe. And due to him, everything is hung together. And in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, very nicely, it is described by Krishna that Maya tatam midam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina, that due to Krishna's power, Maya tatam midam sarvam, everything in this universe, jagat avyakta murtina, through his impersonal power, avyakta means unmanifested energies. Krishna is holding everything together. And in this way, Sarva Bhutani Kantaya, he's maintaining all the living entities. So this is the all-pervasive nature of the Lord. And the more we are in touch with the Mahamantra and Srimad Bhagavatam, the more the remembrance of Krishna there will be, no matter where we go, because Krishna, through pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, becomes very transparent within his universal creation. Thank you so much. I think there's some hands raised. Gunesh, you have a question?
Yes.
Okay, let Prabhu go first.
Yeah. So, Hare Krishna Prabhu, the questions I have, like, what can we do for our parents who pass away? Like, my dad passed away 2 months ago. Today I'm celebrating his 2nd month Dasarat. So, what's special I do to get Krishna's mercy, to get Krishna in the lotus feet?
Okay. Of course, the Shraddha Vidhi is there. So we should perform it, as per the injunctions of scriptures. But more specifically, the best thing you can do is become devotee of Krishna, because in scriptures, it is said, "Yad yad brahmati samsare pitarahi pinda yahapara na Puruṣa-sūkta Krishna bhaktasya jayate." That the forefathers are actually wandering around the universe, waiting for the pinda to be offered by their descendants. However, if within that family, Tavad Brahmati, it is said, Krishna bhaktasya jayate, they wander around until and unless one devotee in their descendant does not become a devotee of Krishna Bhakta. So as soon as one becomes a devotee of Krishna, they deliver their forefathers immediately. So the best thing is to become a pure devotee of Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Gunesh, you had a question.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. I want to ask because we're talking about how big Krishna is and how gigantic he is, and I feel like every time I hear the analogies, it's just he's so big. But how do I explain it to I don't know if I meant to explain it to new devotees, but I feel like either when I explain it, I start sounding like a Mayavadi saying Krishna's everywhere, or I don't know. I just don't know how to explain it. Because you said a few analogies, Prabhu, but do you have any specific analogies that you normally use that I can try to remember?
Yes, so in Damodar Leela, we see, that how Mother Yashoda binds Krishna and feels she's not able to bind him. So very nicely it is described that the Lord who is Ananta means unlimited, by love and devotion of Mother Yashoda, comes under the bound and the measure of her robes. The Lord whose belly maintains the whole of universe, that belly Mother Yashoda through love and devotion binds. So in simple terms, Gunesh, although the Lord is the greatest of all, oldest of all, he is to be feared by all, and he is the controller of all, but simply by unmotivated, unadulterated, pure, selfless love, that Lord becomes approachable and he bestows his mercy to the living entities. And this is the beauty of our Lord, that despite being great, he becomes accessible through the love that the devotee exhibits. And as Paul Prabhu said, in the middle of the class, that yes, the two-handed form of Krishna is that form where the Lord stands before the devotee to protect him. The Lord guards the Sutala planet of Bali Maharaj to protect Bali Maharaj. It is said, when the devotee sings, the Lord dances. When the devotee walks, the Lord walks in front, guiding the devotee. When the devotee sleeps, the Lord is awake, protecting the devotee. So the Lord has feelings, and he's a person, and as such, he becomes, he disposes himself to the will of the devotee. As the Lord himself says, Aham bhakta paradhino, I'm dependent on the will of my devotee. Aswatantra vadvija, I'm not independent. And because sadhu vigrasta hidayo, because my devotee has bound me in their hearts, what to speak of the devotee? Bhaktair bhakta janapriya, even the devotee of my devotee is very dear to me. So yes, these descriptions of gigantic form, Lord is everywhere, are there for us to appreciate that the Lord is all expansive. But yet, for sake of his devotee, the Lord comes under the control of the love of the devotee, and the Lord makes himself accessible to the devotee, despite him being great. If we don't first meditate on the greatness, or we don't study the greatness of the Lord, then it is very easy to become like a sahajya. Sahajya means take the Lord very cheaply. A pure devotee of the Lord will never minimize or take the Lord cheaply. He understands fully the greatness of the Lord. And when he understands the greatness of the Lord, then he truly can love the Lord. Otherwise, Lord is not like, something that we have under our arm. No, some people, treat Lord like that, but a pure devotee of the Lord is always aware of the majesty of the Lord. Is that okay, Gunesh?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have got quite a bit over time today. My apologies. Have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Krishna willing, we'll see you all again tomorrow. Grantraj srimadbhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the nice class. Thank you.
Hare
Thank
Krishna
you.
Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhu. Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for a beautiful, beautiful class.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the beautiful class, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.